The Echo did a piece where they said, what could test Liverpool's Mohamed Salah resolve this summer? They talked about, of course, the £150 million that Liverpool rejected last year from Saudi Arabia. But what would it take for Liverpool to cash in this summer? Well, I would say first and foremost, it would take a willingness from Mohamed Salah to move on. You know, that's like any player who the club may lose. That would be the first part of it. And on top of that, honestly, I think we're talking reasonable numbers for Liverpool to consider it. 70, 80 million quid, maybe, something like that. I know a lot of you will probably think higher because Saudi are involved, but it just gets me thinking, are we really believing that the club are willing to let him walk for free in a year if he doesn't sign a new deal? Because I don't buy it. I don't buy for 1 second that Liverpool are that stupid financially, but we'll talk about that tonight as well. Is Salah one of the GOATs of the club in your opinion? Absolutely, Joseph. Look, I know people get wound up sometimes by how adamant I am about Mohamed Salah should be sold, but make no mistake about it, he is absolutely a GOAT, an icon, a legend, and deserves every bit of it. But that, you know, my stance is that's what he's done in the past. Football is a what can you do for me now business. So I would say without any hesitation, absolutely. You know, Liverpool is a football club with a great history, some great servants over the years who've delivered a lot. And Mohamed Salah deserves to have his name mentioned amongst many of those greats. So without a doubt, mate. Can you honestly see John W. Henry spending the dough? Said Harry. Look, I think if John had his way, no. But I also think that he understands that we're starting to see through some of this crap now. John W. Henry is cheap. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to back down from that. And if he had his way, I'm sure minimal money would be spent because the club's still gone up in value every year. So, yeah, for me, look, he needs to be called out more and more and more until he starts opening up the purse strings a little bit. Remember, we freed up a lot of money. A lot of money. And we've just freed up even more. So we've got about 18 million quid, 18.7 million quid in wages freed up. We don't know what's happening with Mohamed Salah's future. We don't know what's happening with Virgil's future. We don't know what's happening with Trent's future. We don't know what's happening with Miroslav Yaros' future. And what we cannot allow to happen is that those players being re-signed, being sold to us as some type of tremendous business from the football club. Because that, quite frankly, is horseshit of the highest order. And we deserve better than that. And I don't believe this nonsense about Liverpool being willing to let Mohamed Salah go for free in a year's time either. I don't believe it. Because nothing about Michael Edwards makes me think that that's the rational, sensible thing to do. The emotion removed from the situation, resolution that we all expected when Edwards came in. For me, what the Echo are starting to hint at by asking what type of numbers we may accept to tempt us into selling Salah is an indication that the club would sell Salah in a heartbeat if the offer came in. And here's the thing. This needs to be tested. So let's see what happens if, I don't know, Al Ittihad, Al Hilal, or one of the clubs in the Saudi Pro League come in with an offer anywhere above 70, 75 million pound. Let's see what Liverpool do then. Because I don't for 1 minute believe they wouldn't accept that offer. What I guess, and it is a guess, is happening right now is that Liverpool don't want to be disrespectful to Mohamed, which is absolutely understandable. Same applies the other way. Mohamed doesn't want to be disrespectful to Liverpool. But somebody needs to grow a pair and look at the situation and go, someone's getting 100 million quid, it's Salah or Liverpool. And with all due respect, I'm a Liverpool Football Club fan, and I want that money very much tucked away in the club's bank account to be spent on signings. Not on, sure, wasn't it great? Should we let him go? Sure, it's only 100 million. Sure, what do we need 100 million for? You know, because we're so fucking flush with cash us. What happens if Salah won't go to Saudi? Then we have the situation where you either have to try and extend him, or you have to play hardball. And that's where it gets messy. And I don't want it to get messy. I don't want what happened with Jordan Henderson happening with Mohamed Salah. I don't want Mohamed Salah leaving the football club with a cloud over him. I want him to leave the football club with the credit he deserves for the magnificent service he's given us. But I want it to be right for Liverpool as well. So I've always said I wouldn't mind the idea of a compromise. Let's say he gets half the transfer fee, Liverpool get the other half of the transfer fee. But one of two things needs to happen. You either need to renew him or you need to sell him. You cannot allow him start the season without one of those two things happening. Because this belief that Liverpool are happy to allow him leave in a year if he won't agree an extension, Have you noticed the wording of that? The wording is very much kicking the ball back into Mohamed Salah's court. Liverpool are happy to see Mohamed Salah leave for free in 2025 if he won't sign an extension. The wording of that is no accident. The wording of that is very much pushing the ball back into his court. But we have to be hard here, and we have to realise that, okay, if the club genuinely feel that Mo deserves a new deal and Mo would sign it, I'm okay with that. It wouldn't be my own decision, but it's far more sensible than allowing the man to go for free. We can't have him go for free. Again, I've said this so many times. If he leaves for free, then Firmino, Mane and Salah would have recouped us a grand total of 30 million quid, which is absolutely pathetic for the quality of forwards that they are. So whoever's making the decisions at the club needs to be a bit more hard-assed on these things. Craig, did you read the article that said Liverpool will try to renew Salah's contract at the end of next season? I did, Paul. And do you know what nobody tended to think about in that wonderful piece of journalism? What if he signs a pre-contract in January for somebody else? And here's the kicker, Paul. He doesn't even have to tell the club. If he signs a pre-contract in January, let's say for shits and giggles to go to Napoli or Real Madrid or Barcelona or your PSG, anyone, doesn't even need to tell the club. So the club could think, we still have a chance here to tie Mo down, and he could have signed a fucking deal to go elsewhere. Well, some of us just aren't in reality. This is the height of stupidity from the club. Sell him, sell him, sell him. Play hardball, sell him. And genuinely, it boils my blood. What do you mean Salah future uncertain? Okay, I'm going to explain this as best as I can. So I was reading through, as I always do, my preparation for tonight's show. And I came across a piece on the Echo. And it kind of got me thinking. So the title of the piece is, what could test Liverpool's Salah resolve this summer? So you look through the piece. I'll read a segment out to you. It said Liverpool turned down a £150 million offer from Saudi Arabia last year for Salah, and it's unlikely that the Egyptian would not be on the radar of the Saudi Pro League again this term. If they were to bid again, it would most likely be a lesser bid than the one received last summer, because Salah's adamant and walk away in 2025. The Reds may have to do the unthinkable and accept an offer. How much would that offer have to be is unclear, but if he's serious about leaving for free, the Reds will need to cash in now. Finally, the media are starting to get some semblance of common sense. And fair play. I call people out for crap, but I'm always happy to highlight good stuff. That last paragraph tells you everything. How much would the offer need to be? That's unclear, but if he's serious about leaving for free, the Reds need to cash in. So even the Echo are saying that this idea of letting him walk for free is stupid. And it is. It's always been stupid. All this bullshit about the club just, wanting to be respectful. It's business. It's business. You need to look after what's best for the club. And if Mohamed isn't going to sign a new deal, and I don't know what the case is there because I'm not involved in any of these conversations, but if Mo and the club can't come to an agreement, it shouldn't even be a debate. It's sell, 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 sell. And I hear you, Craig, what if he doesn't want to go? Well then, you got to grow and sit in the big boy chair and say, on the bench you go, Mohamed. Best of luck now. Enjoy playing with the under-21s for the remainder of the season. And I don't care how harsh that sounds, because you can't just let him walk off into the sunset for free. You can't. And then you can't do that and then tell us at the same time that we have no money for transfers. It's ludicrous. You want praise for being financially prudent and clever, then make the sensible financial decision. And the sensible financial decision is not to throw a load of cash at somebody whose best days are behind them. It's to make sure that the club get looked after. And if a compromise needs to be reached there between Mohamed Salah and the club, sound. If Mohamed gets some of the transfer fee, sound. I'd love him to go with a big send-off, a shiny thank you from all of us, and a few quid in his pocket. Nothing wrong with that. But, we're constantly being taken for idiots, telling us that what we're seeing with our own eyes isn't happening. And what we're seeing with our own eyes here is Liverpool going to the last year of three of their biggest players running down their contracts. One of them is wanted by Real Madrid. The other one is our captain. And the third one is our vice captain, who's also a local boy, who's in the last year of his deal and is 25. How is that clever financially or prudent? Only option is to offer Mo a new contract to cash in as much as possible. See, Owen, Mohamed Salah and Rami Abbasisa aren't silly. They're going to get the idea that if we are looking to extend them with the view to sell them, they just won't extend. I think everybody needs to be honest about the situation. The player, the club, everybody. And say, look, you can walk for free in 12 months. That's your prerogative right now. We can make these last 12 months a year wasted in your career. And you need to bluff them. You need to play that game of poker and say, we'll pay the 350 grand a week and watch Nico Williams play on the right wing while Salah's on the bench. Call his bluff. Because if we don't, it's not going to change the situation. And best case scenario, I think we get a decent year out of Mo, because would you play through the pain barrier? Would you fuck up your potential move to your next club by going into 50-50s? These are all things we have to be honest about.